Guys, this is Big John here in Anchorage, Alaska. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm just getting ready to finish up some of these hard-boiled eggs and get them in the pickle juice. Let's see, next week I am planning to do a egg fast. So for the entire week, we're going to be egg fasting. So that's mainly going to be hard-boiled eggs, fried up eggs however we can do them. And that's what we're going to do for an entire week. And then I'm going to make a video next week about my results as far as that goes. So I'll be looking forward to that. Today, I was debating on going over a lot of my blood work because I get asked questions all the time about my cholesterol levels, certain specifics and stuff like that. So I'm going to kind of try to add that into this weekend's update and go from there. But other than that, I feel pretty good. I'm not... it's health-wise, I feel fantastic. Work-wise, I'm extremely frustrated for the time being, and that's just gonna be the way of the world for a little while until we get back to work. But it is what it is. This is kind of typical thing that happens here in Alaska this time of year. As work slows down. I haven't checked the mail yet, and if anybody did see that little short live that I did last night, I apologize. I was using the minivan, and the minivan's I think it's got a cracked heater core. So the windshield was like all crazy. And then I got pulled over by the cops. A wonderful Anchorage PD pulled me over. And yeah, I didn't get a ticket. I just got a warning. It was all good. So yeah, we're going to get these eggs peeled and get them over there in the pickle juice. Now, these are the white eggs we got at Costco, and I had much better luck with these things, even without putting any baking soda or salt in the water. But yeah, I've had much better luck with the white eggs at Costco. Now I was trying to do the brown eggs a couple of weeks ago. That was a fail. These things are just peeling like just perfect. I mean, no effort at all. I did put a little bit of baking soda in the water this time, as recommended by people here on the channel, and so far that is working out pretty good. But I made chicken wings the other day, and I don't like eating chicken wings that much on the carnivore diet, mainly because it's like eating pork. It doesn't digest as well as eating hamburger meat, stuff like that. So if I eat 80-20 hamburger meat, I feel fantastic. So I need to get out and hopefully get some more of that real soon. Wow, these are peeling almost like I'm in a professional kitchen. That's crazy. Wow, that's awesome. I'm definitely not complaining there. This is the only one I think that got a little damaged. It got cracked a little bit when I put it in the water. So we'll do that one next, see what happens. Hey there, who we got jumping in there? BK Belgian Carnivore. Hey there, how you doing? Yeah, welcome to my kitchen. I mean, I'm just a humble guy. I do these live streams all the time, just randomly. Later on, I will be making a video about this week's update. As far as weight loss, a little bit of a spoiler there. I haven't really been experiencing any weight loss to speak of, but I always have a lot to talk about. That's why we're doing do these live streams all the time, because they're just so easy. You just set them up real quick and get going, and then just run with it. And the nice thing about the carnivore diet is it's such a debate. Even when I started the carnivore diet, I debated the heck out of it. I wanted to try something different because it seemed like nothing I tried was working. I was over 400 pounds. And I just couldn't get the weight off. And I had to do something dramatic just to get started with losing all that weight. And up to this point, I've lost about 130 to 135 pounds within the last year. Now, within the first 15 weeks, I lost 100 pounds in the first 15 weeks. That was the fastest I think I've ever lost weight in my entire life. But I was also, severely obese. I was crazy to the point where it was hard for me to move, hard for me to do basic things. Bending over, even sitting here at the table is hard. So, I mean, everything's been an improvement thus far. And I did get into the cholesterol topic with a friend of mine, Donna, who was sending me emails. And it's just been my opinion ever since I started this. And it took a while to get to this opinion, because of our traditional teachings about cholesterol, HDL, and LDL, how it's a common marker found when most people are having heart attacks. That's factual information. So when a lot of people have a heart attack and they're just gathering all these numbers from all these different hospitals around the world and around the country, one of the common denominators around these heart attacks is usually cholesterol, HDL, and LDL levels are usually elevated. So they have that much in common. But now the question is, especially around the carnivore type diet, is cholesterol a problem? And it seems like the further we're going along with this, because I'm not the only one. There's millions of people out there right now that are doing the carnivore diet. And a lot of them have been doing it for many years. They just eat meats and fats. They eat eggs. They eat dairy. There's many variations to the carnivore diet, to include hypercarnivore, which is kind of like a mix of some fruits and stuff like that. And I tried that. It didn't work. It just made things way more confusing for me. So over time, I started coming up with my own principle on how to do the carnivore diet, which I came up with a principle of 90-10 eating principle, which was 90% meats and fats, 10% I love my life. And that 10% was like, whatever. I didn't care if it was carbs or, maybe something from a fast food place, just something small and something simple, not something to wreck the entire routine. And that worked really well. I saw a lot of immediate benefits within the first 30 days, just eating 90% meats and fats. So then I kept going and I kept making it more confusing by adding in different things, trying different types of fasts, and then adding in just random fruits and stuff like that. And the fruits really threw everything out the window for me. It did create a problem with how I was going to the bathroom. Now, the entire time on the carnivore diet, after I did the initial transition, because the first transition into the carnivore diet was a little difficult. There was some issues with poop in there, but a lot of that is there was so much going on in my gut from eating all the overly processed foods over the years, and then eating random vegetables and just not paying attention to exactly what's going in my body back then, that I wasn't able to dial in anything or figure out weight loss in general. But once I figured out how to lose weight with little to no effort, I was kind of hooked. That's what I come out here and talk about, is it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to lose a lot of weight, especially if you're morbidly obese. And I'm talking about coming from a person with experience of being 435 pounds for quite a while, way too uncomfortably long. But yeah, I started my weight loss with a 5-day water fast, and I lost 30 pounds. That's just drinking water, taking electrolytes, and taking my vitamins. That's all I was doing. I did that for 5 days. It seems bonkers. Even when I was doing it, it seemed nuts. But I was desperate. I had a hard time reaching around to wipe my butt. So I had to figure out something. My wife would have to help me tie my shoes some days or take my shoes off. As a full-grown man, that's embarrassing. That's super embarrassing. So yeah, she'd help me put my socks on sometimes, or I'd lay down on the bed. I was just so fat. I'd lay down on the bed and she'd help me put my pajamas on, like one leg at a time. And yeah, she was a wonderful wife. She really stuck through the hard times, and that's why I appreciate her so much. I'm just so happy to be married to this woman. Hey, hello there. I don't know how to say your name because it's in a different language. It's either Russian or that's Russia. Okay, hey, yeah, hello neighbor. All right, coming from Dixon Butts. All right, I forced myself to stop eating for 4 days, and my DNA changed. And your DNA changed? Some reason easier to lose weight now. It's not so much that your DNA changes. It's just your metabolism started working again. And that's where I was. My metabolism was just freaking shot. I didn't have an immune system, any little virus or disease going around. I'm surprised COVID didn't kill me when it came through, because I got COVID and this whole family got knocked down like all at once. Wow, these things are peeling like just so pretty. I love it when eggs peel like they're supposed to. Yeah, this is great. But yeah, I had no immune system at all because I was just eating crap food, and a lot of soy was getting in me, a lot of vegetable oils, seed oils, and just the overall nonsense that we really shouldn't be eating in the first place. Plus the high fructose corn syrup was sneaking in, even though I quit drinking sodas. that was an eye opener when I started flipping around packages and reading the ingredients. And I talk a lot about people reading ingredients. I've even taken all kinds of foods in my house and just talked about the ingredients of what's in them, what it could potentially be doing. You know, like soybean oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, hydrogenated vegetable oil. That's all processed oil. That stuff's not good for us. I mean, our body doesn't know what to do with it. So it just puts it somewhere, and then all of a sudden we're inflamed, and then we get chronically inflamed and we don't even realize it. And when you're chronically inflamed, it affects your thought process. You actually think differently when you're chronically inflamed. And I think that's a lot of problems that we got going on right now in this country. Is a lot of people are suffering from inflammation. They're just unaware of it because they're just eating crap food. But it's just, yeah, it's an eye opener. As soon as you get away from all that and you start feeling different pretty quickly. And this is why I do the carnivore diet in the first place, is because, you know, like I said, when I started, I thought it was crap. I thought it was just like anything else, you know, just like the keto diet. I tried the keto diet. I had a hard time. It didn't work. I was trying to follow all these people online and take their advice. And a lot of them had some really good advice, but then you have to like really apply it. You have to stick to it. They can't hold your hand. You know, just like I can't hold somebody's hand and tell them like, hey, this is how you lose 100 pounds, because I mean, I know how to lose 100 pounds now. And it's just trying to get people to listen. They'll sit there and listen for a little while, and they'll stare at you like deer in a headlight. And then after you're done talking with them, they just go back to eating whatever they were used to, because that's their habit. That's their nature. That's the stuff that they bought at the grocery store. And trying to get somebody to throw away groceries, especially here in Alaska, is almost impossible. And I don't recommend anybody throw away whatever they have in their pantry. I just believe we need to start working around it, because that's what I have to do. You know, right now I eat approximately 98% meats and fats. I eat a lot of eggs, and this next week we're going to be nothing but eggs. We're going to eat these pickled eggs we got here. I'm probably going to go out and buy some more eggs. Let's see. Yeah, I can probably eat about 100, to 200 eggs in a week. And I figured this out a long time ago when I started researching egg fasting, because that's a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. But there's a lot of nutrition in eggs, but there's not enough nutrition in eggs to do prolonged egg fasting, where you're just eating nothing but eggs. So if anybody ever were to try that, I mean, I wouldn't recommend going more than 14 days before eating other foods, whatever your other foods are. But you can lose a lot of weight just eating eggs. And the first time I did an egg fast, I just had 3 hard-boiled eggs for each meal. And I did that for 5 days. I lost anywhere between 7 and 14 pounds. It's hard to keep track because I lost weight doing so many different things. And then I did an egg fast eating hard-boiled eggs, and then I was eating sardines as well. And sardines keep you in ketosis, and you're losing weight. You're dropping weight quicker than you can imagine. Plus you're getting rid of all the inflammation that's in your legs and your face and your hands and your feet. It just goes away naturally. I mean, we don't even have to try. That's with no exercise, guys. I could lose 14 pounds just eating eggs with no exercise. And people don't believe it, and they don't even want to try it. And the only ones that do know this are the ones that have actually done it. And they're like, well, I did an egg fast, man. I lost, a lot of people tell me they lost 12 to 14 pounds doing an egg fast. And I'm like, yeah, just don't do that for an entire month, okay? Because there's not, granted, an egg has a ton of nutritional value in it, but it's just not quite enough to meet all your dietary needs. That's where the supplements come in, a little bit of electrolytes and stuff like that. But yeah, you want to make sure you dot all your I's and cross your T's before you get started on doing something like this, because I always thought it would have been a dangerous thing to do until I actually tried it, and then I tried it again, and then I changed it up a little bit, and I kept having weight loss results and tremendous health benefits. And this is all like carnivore type related. It's still all animal products, and it just works. And that's why I like to share stuff that works, because if I didn't do it, I wouldn't be talking about it. I mean, there's really no point in talking about stuff that I haven't done or experienced, especially since I started losing weight, because that's been the most fun part about my presence here on YouTube, is being able to share my adventures, bring people into my home, show them I'm not perfect. I'm just an average guy. I'm a truck driver. I mean, and you look at most truck drivers at the truck stops, and they're just, you might see 5 out of 50 that pull in there that look like they're in pretty decent health. And then the rest of them just look like they're a freaking mess. Then they go in the truck stop and they come out with all this freaking deep fried food, the ready-made food that's on the hot plate, because they feel like they don't have any other options. I was that guy. I cruised all over the lower 48. I ate like trash while I was down there. And I did it because I thought, seriously, like, oh, what can I get? What can I eat? There's nothing else in here. I need something fast. I need something I can eat while I'm driving down the road. That was a problem. So, what I mean now, if I were to go down south or, get an over-the-road type trucking job, I know what snacks are safe. Beef jerky. I mean, even if it's got crap ingredients in the beef jerky, that's still better than getting something like a cheese Danish, because the cheese Danish just looks amazing. It's sweet and it's big and it fits your entire palm of your hand, and it looks like you're actually eating something. But as soon as you eat something like a cheese Danish, you're satisfied on your sweet tooth, but you're not satisfied on your hunger. And that's where the protein comes in. You eat a lot of protein on any type of diet. You eat a lot of vegetable protein or animal protein, you're gonna feel fuller faster. You're gonna stay fuller longer, and you're not gonna want to eat all that extra garbage. Because one thing I did learn is that protein, we have an off switch in our head, in our brain. Our brain tells us, like, if I eat eggs, I'll eat eggs to the point where I just don't like the taste of them anymore. The same thing applies for eating a steak or eating hamburger meat. Eventually it'll stop tasting good, and that's the sign to say, okay, you're full, stop eating. But most of us, we disregard the sign of what being full feels like anymore. And it's almost like people want to eat Thanksgiving dinner for every meal of the day. It's like they start off their breakfast with stuff like French toast, and then it's covered in all this sugary syrup. It's not even syrup. I mean, if you were to buy the healthy syrup, the syrup that comes from the sap of trees, you'd still be light years ahead of products like Log Cabin or whatever that Aunt Jemima stuff is. It's just full of high fructose corn syrup. And then they add sugar, and then they add more sugar, and then they change the name of the sugar to something else. And then it's just crazy. Just if we just read the ingredients, understand what they're doing, because there's no amount of high fructose corn syrup that the body knows what to do with. There's zero amount, nothing. The body does not know what to do with it. And when we put too much in from drinking soda pop, all this other stuff, it gets confused. It doesn't know where to put it. And then all of a sudden we got freaking diabetes, and people are like, I don't know how I got diabetes. And then they want to use these alternative sodas, like Coke Zero and all this other stuff with these artificial sweeteners. Well, some of those artificial sweeteners are just as damaging. They just damage different organs. I mean, go figure. So everything we put in our body has to go through a process. So it goes in our mouth, it goes into our stomach, then it hits our intestines, and then it starts, getting absorbed from there, and it starts moving around in different places. And if the body doesn't know the proper place to put the ingredients that just came in, it's going to start sending it everywhere. Just like a confused Amazon distribution center with no guidance. It's just going to start sending packages all over the place. And then eventually you're going to have a traffic jam in one of your organs, your major organs. People disregard the pancreas all the time. And I believe there's been scientific studies out there that say that pancreatic cancer is 100% preventable. Don't quote me on that. You guys can research on your own, but always do your own research. I mean, the stuff I'm talking about is true. There's other people going through the same things that I'm going through, and some of them are still stumbling, and it's kind of fun to try and help them. But a lot of times we get confused with our own personal feelings and our own addiction type eating, and we just want to keep going on and on and on, fighting the process, being like, well, I gotta have pizza. I can't live life without pizza. And yes, pizza is one of my sin foods, by the way. I could eat pizza all day long, forever. I could just eat pizza every freaking day of the year. And that was one of my problems. I was eating so much pizza. But now, is pizza the problem, or is the type of pizza the problem? And that was something that I figured out a workaround. I make my pizza crust now with chicken. So I make a pizza crust with chicken, some Parmesan cheese, and some egg, and I just mash that all together and make a pizza crust. And I swear you could feed it to your child and they really wouldn't know the difference, because it holds up just the same. Yeah, that was a fun project that I got into that one day. Was making a carnivore type pizza crust. It's all protein. The whole pizza was protein except for the tomato sauce. And you don't even have to use tomato sauce. You can use something else. I mean, you can use butter and who knows what, and put bacon on it and pepperoni or whatever. But I do tend to avoid a lot of the pepperonis because some of these pepperonis, they're just superly overly processed, and there's a bunch of garbage inside the pepperoni or in a lot of sausages. Now, the first go around that I had with the carnivore diet was many, many years ago. You know, that was even before I was like chronically obese. I was just maybe regular obese at that time. I think I was in my 30s and I was trucking down in the lower 48. And somebody talked about, they didn't call it the carnivore diet. They called it like the meat diet or something like that. And if you're talking to other people like in different cultures, they understand the term meat diet, especially more than carnivore. Now that carnivore has been around, people are starting to recognize it more and more. But yeah, if you talk to some of the Italians and some of the old style Greeks, and you mention the meat diet, and some of the Asians, they nod their head. They're like, yes, that's what you should do. That's how you should eat. And because they've been doing it, they've been doing it for hundreds of years. And sometimes their family teaches them that stuff and they practice it. Boom. There we go. We got some pickled eggs getting ready to go in the fridge. We're just reusing some pickle brine. This is the best way to reuse pickle brine. I mean, this stuff doesn't go bad it's vinegar. So yeah, reuse your pickle brine. I do have some pickles left in here, but that's okay. My family wants these pickles. They can fish through the fun. But anyways, I hope you guys are doing fantastic this weekend. It's a beautiful day here in Alaska. I believe it's going to be a pretty hot day. So at some point I want to get out with the family, and then I have to figure out how to film my my update video for this week. And I did want to talk a lot about my blood work when I do that. I can't do it on a live stream because the information's on my phone and I can't really access it easy. So it'll be easier with a camera sitting in front of me, and then we can just talk about it, in a video, and I can edit out the stupid ums and ahs and, weird random happenings that like to happen in this house, like my cats tend to like dive on me. But hey, Jill, how you doing there? You took away your comment. I didn't even have a chance to read it. Dang it. Oh, I made that joke earlier. John, is that homemade pickle? No, I'm recycling old pickle brine. And that works pretty well too. You just got to read the ingredients on, whatever type of pickles you're using. Those are dill pickles there, so it doesn't have any of the crap in it. But yeah, last night I got out and I was trying to do this live stream last night, just driving around at night, because I've been horribly stressed out the last couple of weeks. It hasn't gotten any better. It didn't get better last night going for a drive because I got pulled over by the police, and they said my registration was expired. And I was like, wow, I got my Jeep broke down. It's got a flat tire too, on top of the transmission issues it has. And we still need to buy food and pay the bills, and they're all coming in at the same time. So I'm losing my freaking mind. And the only thing that really makes me happy is getting out here and doing these live streams and hanging out with you guys. That's like my mental crutch that just keeps me going, because I enjoy this stuff. I enjoy talking to people like Jill. There's a lady named Shanna. Donna usually drops in. And it really helps me keep going, with the diet and the weight loss, because if I wasn't being accountable by recording a lot of what I'm doing, I think I would go backwards. I think I would have failed already. I lost the first 100 pounds, and then I started trying to figure out what I was going to do next, and I lost some more weight. But then I got to a point where I was getting mentally exhausted. I was getting exhausted with creating videos about it. Because it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. Yeah, I see you there, Donna. Thank you. I saw you. Somebody, was that you that recommended? There was another Donna that sent me an email today with a video we checked out. And we talked a little bit about cholesterol and stuff like that, in my opinion. I wasn't sure if that was you or no, that might be Keto Viking. That's a different Donna. But yeah, I get a lot of random emails. People like share certain videos that might have impacted them a little bit, that are on the same kind of stuff. But when they do that, it really helps me. It helps me realize I need to focus. I need to focus on myself. I need to focus on how I talk to other people about this stuff. and come up with new creative ways to try to break down the freaking wall of, I'm sorry about your luck. You've eaten too much crap and you think it's irreversible, but I'm here to say it is reversible. You know, a lot of diabetes is reversible, or at least preventable. So, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, my diagnosis wasn't the greatest. I mean, I was diagnosed with sleep apnea. I slept the last 2 days with no CPAP because I don't need it anymore. I was told at my last sleep study that I didn't need a CPAP anymore. My AHI was so incredibly low, I didn't have to use the machine anymore. But my anxiety was so high because when I first started using the machine, I had to have it in order to survive. I was slowly dying from sleep apnea. I was choking to death in my sleep, um, because your airway gets restricted, and then you start trying to inhale through that restricted airway. Well, you're inhaling like all of your saliva from your mouth and whatnot, and if you had any stuff going on in your teeth, you might be inhaling that into your lungs, and that's a great way to get pneumonia. I've had pneumonia about 2 or 3 times in my life, and I don't recommend it because it hurts. It's like coughing up a cinder block, and you could potentially die from that. Let's see. Uh, I sent you the one on cholesterol. Oh, all right. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. That was a good video, by the way. Um, Now, some of these videos people have been sharing with me, because I follow some people on Facebook too, and I see some of this stuff talking about like rice, white rice, brown rice, its correlation with cancer. And in my opinion, I don't think the rice itself is what's causing the cancer. A lot of rice does have a lot of arsenic in it. So depending on how much arsenic you want to put in your body, because there's a lot of cultures out there that rice is one of their main foundations for their diet. But they also consider the type of rice, what type of rice, where does the rice come from? The debate was like around arsenic and cancer. And I was trying to wrap my head around the video because it just didn't make any sense. He kind of skirted around the idea, and he never once talked about the facts that, when you eat like white rice, it turns, it's carbohydrate, and it'll turn into sugar. It'll create a, glucosamine, whatever. I'm not a scientist or a doctor type response, but it'll raise glucose levels in your blood. And yeah, you could potentially have a side effect from that, especially if you have cancer, because that rice could potentially be turning into sugar and feeding the cancer exactly what it wants. And cancer feeds on sugar. If you feed it high fructose corn syrup, that's like a super drug for cancer. Yeah, you're feeding that cancer 3 times as fast as you would normally if you just ate a Snickers bar or something like that. It's just avoid sugar. Avoid sugar if you got cancer. I mean, it's a simple thing to do, even though it's a hard thing to get over because it's just a habit. Having a lot of sugar in our diets is just a habit. Let's see. A Small World. I watched that video today too. Yeah, that was a pretty good video you shared there. I liked it. I never heard of the people before, but it was a good video. And like I said in the email, I said that was one of the first videos that anybody sent me in a long time that I had 100% retention rate, because I'm like a squirrel. If it dips out for a little while and gets kind of boring, I'm wandering around the kitchen and I might just swipe away and do something else because you got to keep my attention. That's just one thing that we've all found out here. Even for us trying to make these live streams, if we shut up for too long, people tend to dip out. They don't hang out. But sometimes we talk too much, they dip out too. So you can't win. Hello, friend. How are you? Good vibes. Hey, we're doing pretty good today. Yeah, we're just trying to get life figured out. I'm trying to come up with a plan for next week on what I'm going to do because I'm still trying to lose some more weight and stay down there below 300 pounds. That's been a struggle. I've hit like the ultimate plateau, and it's been going on for, gosh, I want to say almost a month now, where I went down below 300 pounds, and then all of a sudden I went back up a little bit, and then I was back down. And weight's all liquid. I mean, it's not all fat. So you can lose a lot of weight, and that's just water weight. I mean, you lose the fat, it's still going to take a long time to put that pound of fat. So if I lost a pound of fat, it's going to take a long time to put that pound of fat back on, like 3 days to a week to put 1 pound of fat back on. So there's a process there too. I'm trying to lose weight too. I'm almost 200 pounds. Yeah, anybody can lose weight with fasting practices. I mean, seriously, I just focus on whole foods. Just try to eat as healthy as you can. Stay away from the box foods in the stores. A lot of the canned foods, even some of the canned vegetables. You gotta seriously turn the package around, even if you think it's an innocent product, and read those ingredient labels. Understand what is in there, because sometimes the water and the solution or whatever they pack, beans in, it might have something really, really unhealthy in it that could be preventing you from losing weight. So a lot of times, before, when I used to eat beans, I'd rinse them off thoroughly. I'd get as much of the crud off, but then you got the absorption effect, where some of that liquid gets absorbed into the bean. So if it's got crappy ingredients, it's getting in the bean anyhow, and potentially causing inflammation and bloatingness and gas and you name it. It's just a pain in the butt. Do you miss drinking a nice cold frosty beer? I don't. I really don't. I don't miss drinking at all. Drinking caused nothing but problems in my life and in my previous marriage, in many relationships over the years. It's so much fun not having to worry about your wife, your girlfriend, your roommates, or whoever you're around, being drunk and belligerent and just doing nonsense, or having to go pick them up and rescue them from whatever trouble they got into. I don't miss it at all. Not even a little bit. Are you worried about being gassy from eating so many eggs? They don't make you gassy. Eggs don't make me gassy. Now, for some reason, when I was eating cucka food, overly processed foods with seed oils and just you name it, the stuff that really shouldn't be in our body and our body doesn't know what to do with, the high fructose corn syrup stuff. But back then, one of these eggs, yeah, I'd be farting all over the house. I mean, I could just about project myself down the road if I was on a bicycle. Yeah, I don't fart like I used to anymore. I rarely ever fart eating this way. I mean, I can eat over 100 eggs in a week. I won't fart once in the entire week. It's just amazing. I never had that experience when I ate a lot of broccoli. Now, years ago, I did a fighter's diet, which is a cutting diet with, to cut your body and define your muscles and make your stomach look like a, person that should be on a camera. I did that for about 6 months. I was gassy the whole time, and that was just eating broccoli, butter, and chicken. That's all I did for about 6 months to cut and try to get some better definition into my tone. That was a long time ago. But I was in pretty good shape back then, but I wasn't healthy. Just because you're fit doesn't mean you're healthy. That's the funny thing about health. I know a lot of people that are fit, but they're not eating healthy, and they're not getting their calories from a decent source. I mean, where you get your calories from matters. Calories aren't just a number. They're just a number, a unit of energy, like they try to explain, like some of these guys out here. I can lose weight eating, 5 dozen donuts in a week. Well, yes, you can, but are you healthy because of it? And the answer to that is automatically going to be no. Let's see. Hey, Shannon. Let's see. Good evening. Good evening. What part of the world are you in, Shannon? You must be in the UK. It shouldn't be evening yet. It's only 1 o'clock. See my clock over here. It says 1 o'clock. I'll show you. That's what time it is. 1 o'clock. Here's some roses my wife got for Mother's Day. They're kind of dying. Oh, well. Nice thing about flowers is if you go to the store, you buy them and like not in an arrangement, you get a heck of a deal. And the funny thing I found out about women years ago is that if you could just go buy these random flowers, and they don't even have to be the same type of flower, just a whole bunch of different types of flowers, just in the actual, package, like a little bit of red roses, another package of just pink roses and yellow roses, whatever. And then you get the baby's breath in a different package, and you bring them home to your wonderful woman, and you just hand them to her, and she will have a blast with those flowers. That is one of the best random gifts you can give any woman out there, is just bring them home some flowers and let them arrange it however they want, because it's fun for them. They enjoy that. They feel, even though they're doing the work of putting it together, they're making a little piece of art, and they feel so good after it's done, and they look at it and they'll just look at it for the next week, and you're going to have a pretty decent relationship if you just pop those little bombs in there for your ladies. Flowers are such a waste of money. They can be, absolutely, if you buy the really crappy ones. Depends on where you buy them. But women love flowers. I've never understood that. But women love flowers. My wife loves sunflowers. She likes roses. She likes all the lilies too. She loves lilies. And there's a problem when you bring lilies in the house, is when they open up, they actually blossom. they got a lot of freaking pollen, and the cats get into it, and they got pollen all over the house, and then everybody's wondering why they're sneezing. No, that's not the main reason. Sometimes, when your wife has a bad day, your girlfriend has a bad day, it's just nice to pop in with some flowers, and it's even nicer just to do it out of nowhere for no reason at all. They appreciate it. They will always appreciate just random flowers. The randomness in relationships is what keeps women around and kind of happy. The women you hook up with, like shoes and handbags, I would run away from those people. Yeah, fast. Those are the ones that I avoid. If they require that kind of attention, that's not the kind of people you want to be around. And when you get older, that'll all make sense. You don't have to take my word for it, even though I got many, many years experience. Let's see, we have a ton of lilies in the bed along with the backside of the house, but I can't have them inside because they make me sneeze. Yeah, that's the problem with those. Is like when they open up, they just shower the table. They look beautiful. But they make a mess. And some of those are poisonous to the cats or dogs, and they want to start chewing on them. Let's see, I'm trying to stay single for a bit. After my last girlfriend, she sent me a letter. Sent you a letter from jail. That sounds like an interesting way to go around. Big Tree T, Poker Man, LMO, me too. But when it comes to relationships, it's just better to don't search for it. Don't run out to the bars and expect you're going to find a halfway decent partner if you're going to a bar or a club or somebody's party. Just the best partners I've ever found were from friendships. If you make a friendship first, and then something evolves from it, you two accidentally stumble into bed at some point, that's a different story. Those are usually the best relationships I had over my entire life. Now, every time I went to a bar and found a partner, those turned into complete disasters at some point, and a lot of it was because of my bad habits too. So I'm not saying that I'm an innocent guy either, because I was into a lot of bad stuff and craziness, especially around the party scene. Who is little man Alaska? I'm not little anymore. I'm still big. I'm going to be big even when I get skinnier. And the summer's just starting, so a lot more outside activities are going to happen. I'm going to start dropping some more weight. I mean, it's just going to start coming off naturally, especially now that I learned how to do a lot of different type of fastings. And I'm figuring that for next week, like I'm going to do an egg fast for next week. So I'm going to eat nothing but eggs for the entire week. I mean, I could technically start it right now, but I like to have like a 7-day stretch or a 5-day stretch in there where it's just nothing but eggs. And then I can get my weight loss results after that, because I haven't done an egg fast without having weight loss. I mean, for 5 days, I've had weight loss every single time I've done an egg fast, and I've done it in several different ways. Sometimes, let's see, one of those egg fasts dropped me 5 pounds. Another one dropped me 7 pounds. And I think the first one dropped me almost 14 pounds. But that's a lot of weight. I mean, I've combined them all. Egg fasting just works really fast. 6'7" You are a very tall person. 260. How big are you? I am not 6'7". Yeah, I'd be kind of looking up at you a little bit. I'm about 6'2", 6'3". And right now I'm hovering around 300 pounds, between 300 and 308, right in that range. And it's just been a struggle to get down below 300 pounds. I lost almost 135 pounds since I started losing weight. But you get down to a point where your body just says, whoa, put the brakes on. You got to chill out. So we're at that chill out point for a little while. When the seasons change, and I talk to a lot of other people that have lost dramatic amounts of weight, and almost all of them have said that they noticed a difference in their weight loss around the season changes. So when the seasons change from winter to spring to summer, the weight loss just tends to slow down right there. And that's usually the busiest time for like these gyms, because after the first of the year, people make these nonsense New Year's resolutions. They get a gym membership and then they just slough it off. They don't even go. I don't even know why all these gyms are out there doing what they're doing, because they lock you into these plans. You can't get out of them. They want you to fulfill an entire year's contract with them. Even if you move, they don't care. So yeah, I avoid gym memberships. Let's see. Will you be eating omelets? Now I can make them kind of like an omelet, but I'm not going to be adding anything to it. So I can make a fluffy omelet. If I want it to fluff up more, I can add water. But since it's a egg fast, I'm not going to be adding anything like milk or cheese or ham or onions or any of that stuff. And onions for me so far have been pretty safe for me to consume. So at times, even on the carnivore diet, I might have some onions, some specific types of peppers. But there's a lot of like black pepper. I stay away from that. There's something in there, because black pepper is a seed, and a lot of seeds create inflammation in many people. And I think I'm one of those people, because as soon as I stopped seasoning with black pepper, I noticed a pretty big improvement, almost right away. That is actually more beneficial, John, to plateau for a bit, because it gives your body time to adjust to the new set point. Plus, it helps shrink your cells. Hey, I'm on board with that. I want to do BB&E challenge. Yeah, definitely give it a shot. Focus on 5 days first, Shannon. That's what I would recommend. Set up your weekend however you want. Sunday night, anything after Sunday night, 6 p.m. or however you do your schedule. Just start roll on into the next week and just do it. Just do it for 5 days. Get your weights, this on Saturday. And I always recommend anybody that's doing a weight loss journey to only weigh 1 day a week, and then weigh yourself first thing in the morning. And it's important to do that because your body needs that time throughout the evening to adjust to whatever you ate, drank, or anything. And then everything will even out in the morning. You can lose 2 or 3 pounds while you sleep. And the majority of that's water weight, but you're still losing pounds. So that's great, but it'll give you a really reliable weight first thing in the morning. And that's typically why the doctors like to weigh you first thing. Oh, my wife's coming in the door and she's got a big box. I don't know what she's doing. What you got there?
I tried to get some more.
What is that?
I tried to get.
Oh, we got groceries.
I tried to get some more of your hamburger meat, but all they had was the 90-10.
Oh no.
So I'm gonna have to check tomorrow. Peter's coming in with some more.
They didn't have 70-30?
Nope. Literally all they had was 90-10 or the more expensive stuff.
We didn't get any hamburger meat. I got like 8 patties left in the fridge, so that's good news.
These are for Peter.
So I'm not a huge fan of this flavor, but this company right here, this California company, has been making some really good cheese. Now this cheese might work pretty good for somebody else. It doesn't work too well for my weight loss. It'll just kind of leave me right where I'm at. But they make some excellent Swiss cheese. Let's see, Havarti cheese is one of my favorites as well. And I can eat that and actually lose some weight. So that's pretty good. What are these little things? These are wire?
That was literally $1 for those.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like maybe there was like another pack of the normal stuff that opened and they fell out.
Where did you go? You went to Costco.
We went to Costco and Fred Meyer.
Costco and Fred Meyer. Okay.
And that new DMV place, whatever that we went to, they were so fast. It was like screw the real DMV fast.
Well, that's why you pay an extra $25 when you walk in the door.
It was $15.45.
My wife loves me. She got me comps.
It was $15.45, whereas at the DMV it would have been $15. You're paying like the same price, so it was like double. Screw the DMV.
Yeah, nobody likes going to DMV here in Alaska. You can wait for hours at DMV in Alaska. I love these things, by the way.
We were there in like less than 20 minutes.
That's perfect. That's the way you want it.
Yeah.
I remember waiting in Palmer for like 3 or 4 hours, and everybody was sitting on the floor, and we just kind of scooch our butt over every time somebody. Yeah, it was that long. It took so long. Our government here doesn't do the best job of taking care of us, so things take quite a bit. So we're gonna need a chomp while we're here. Oh, you can't? They were worth it. They were worth the money.
What?
They're super clean, super healthy.
Where's the girls in the back?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good there. Let's see. I got New York strip steaks at Costco for $10.99 a pound. That's too much money for me. I can't afford $10.99 a pound of anything right now. I would have been happy to get more hamburger meat, because that's primarily what I've been thriving on since I started the carnivore diet is eggs, hamburger meat. I have tried, pork chops, ham steak, ham steaks. I'm choking. But yeah, Speaking of water weight, I started optimal amino acids and Baja minerals, plus 72 vital minerals, and it helps rid the body of excess water. I learned this from Todd. Todd's a good guy, man. I take almost every single bit of his advice to heart. You know, because sometimes we get to joking, so you know, it's hard to read the sarcasm because we get yakking on the phone or whatever. But that guy is just a wealth of knowledge. He's been losing so much weight. Like this guy Todd, he's at the YouTube channel called the Carnivore Cure. Such a wealth of knowledge. He's been super helpful. Him, Bill Knott from Alaska. He's a big guy. He was up over 700 pounds himself. He's on his way down. He's looking super healthy these days, and he's been a major help to me and my family and this entire situation. He's been trying to help me out a little bit here when he has time. He's a busy guy too. So $16.99 a pound at Publix. Yeah, the Costco price is always going to be the best. If you can go to a Costco business center, if you have one available, there's only so many in the country. So most people don't even know what it's like going to a Costco business center. But I think they're going to start up and making those businesses available because it's so much better. They can package them. They package the meat differently. The meat prices are different in that Costco compared to our regular Costco, which most people have in their communities. So I can get there. The only problem with them is there's a lack of variety. So it's kind of a dumbed down version. And unfortunately, my wife probably went on the day where they're probably, today's Saturday. So yeah, they probably sold out all their meat throughout the week. And this is how it works here in Alaska. So products come and they try to order enough product to last right up until the next shipment comes up on the boat. So we got a boat. We got a couple boats that come up here, Totem, and it used to be called Horizon. I think it's Matson now. And it's container vessels, and they bring all the meats and the groceries up. So I'm guessing on Monday they'll have more 80-20 hamburger meat in the store. So yeah, at least I'm hoping, because that's what I eat. That's what I eat almost all the time. Yo, what's up there, Omar? How you doing?
During the middle of summer or like in the
All right. So anyway, I do need to get busy on. Well, I gotta put these groceries away, but I also need to get busy on coming up on what I want to do for this weekend's update video, because I did want to go into deeper depth on my blood work. And we're going to go back to before I even started carnivore on my blood work, just to see how much things have changed. And since we got these new portals, it just makes it easy. I can type in the dates and I can get all the information right there up on one screen. So I'll probably screen record that and talk about it as we go down through the screen. But my last blood work tests were done to see if I was vitamin deficient in any way, which could potentially be causing my neuropathy symptoms. And I don't think that's the case. I think my neuropathy symptoms came from being so obese and not getting out and exercising and taking care of myself. So, because that has improved. So, but all right, guys, I want to thank you. I know you guys all have a busy weekend. I hope you enjoy it. God bless. And if you're suffering from being morbidly obese and want to learn a little bit about my journey, subscribe to the channel and figure out how I'm doing it. Because I have an entire playlist, Losing Weight in Alaska, that discusses exactly how I went through this journey, what I was doing week to week. My hard times, the good times, because not every week was a good week. So yeah, I just like to get out here and be honest with everybody. But all right, guys, we're going to cut it down here. I'm going to get on with my day. We got to go do stuff, and I need to check the mail too. Hey, Sunshine, thank you. You too. You have a great weekend, and look for that video that's coming up here pretty soon. Hopefully by Monday I'll have it up. All right, Donna, you too. Take care. And Jill, if you're still here, you as well. And Shannon. All right, we'll see you guys in a little while.